All right, let's talk about the AI revolution. Because it feels like it just appeared out of thin air, right? It's the story of a future that showed up way, way faster than anyone, and I mean anyone, was ready for.
Think about this for a second. Back in 2020, some of the smartest people in the world put together a huge report mapping out the next decade of technology. But when it came to AI, that report was basically obsolete the second it hit publish. So the big question is, how did they all miss it? How did they miss the biggest story of our time?
So first, let's unpack exactly how this happened. We're going to dig into why pretty much everyone was caught off guard. And you'll see it wasn't just one little mistake, it was a whole series of blind spots that led to this, well, this great underestimation.
Okay, so the first big miss, it was a failure of imagination. For a long time, experts saw AI as just background plumbing, a useful tool that would help other, more important technologies, like energy or transportation. They didn't see it for what it was about to become, the main event, a technology that could upgrade like every single knowledge-based job all at once.
Then you have the technical miss. See, everyone knew computers were getting faster. That was a given. But nobody, and I mean nobody, predicted the massive, almost magical leap in what these things could do when we scaled up these foundation models with just insane amounts of data and computing power. It wasn't a straight line of progress. It was a step change, an explosion.
And this next one, this is the real kicker, the ultimate force multiplier. We completely underestimated how fast AI would get good at writing its own code. Think about that. When software starts writing software, everything accelerates. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. Months of engineering work can get squashed into days.
So when you add it all up, it was this perfect storm of missed signals. We didn't see it as a general technology. We didn't see the sudden leap in capabilities from just making the models bigger. We missed how fast it would learn to understand not just text, but images and audio too. And we definitely missed how quickly open source models would spread this power to everyone. Each blind spot just made the others worse.
Okay, so now let's flip the script. Let's talk about the incredible promise that was hiding behind that underestimation. We're talking about a future that could be 10 times more productive because AI is compounding our ability to think and our ability to automate. It's a double whammy.
And a really good way to understand this impact is to think about it in 4 layers, each one building on the last. It starts with you, the individual. Then it boosts entire teams. Then it supercharges science itself. And finally, it has the potential to create real abundance for society as a whole.
Let's start with that first layer, individual leverage. I love this phrase for it, one person, many teams. It basically means that with AI tools like a coding copilot, a single person can now do the work that used to take a whole small team. Your personal output just goes through the roof.
And this newfound leverage translates into a very real, new kind of freedom. It's the freedom to start a business with way less money. It's freedom from all that boring, repetitive glue work that eats up our days. But most importantly, it's the freedom to focus our brainpower on the things that actually matter: creativity, strategy, and judgment.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The real promise here isn't about getting rid of jobs. It's about getting rid of the soul-crushing, needless toil that comes with them and freeing us up to do more human work. All right, but, and this is a really big but, every powerful promise has a sharp, dangerous edge. So now we have to look at the other side of the coin, the darker path, the high-stakes collapse scenario where this exact same technology, steered badly, could go very, very wrong.
And you really can't get a clearer picture of the stakes than this. The very same technology that could give a personalized tutor to every single child on the planet could also be used to create industrialized misinformation that completely rots our ability to trust anything. That is the razor's edge we're walking. Now, this collapse scenario isn't driven by one single thing. It's a mix of a few major interlocking risks. We're talking about our trust in society eroding, huge economic disruptions, critical safety failures, the list goes on. Let's just break down a few of the big ones. First up is this idea of legitimacy erosion. This is a huge deal. What happens when it's super cheap to create endless fake videos and articles that look totally real? What happens when botnets can make it look like everyone agrees on a lie? Well, our trust in everything, elections, science, the news, it just crumbles.
Next, let's talk money, economic dislocation. If all the massive wealth created by AI ends up in the hands of just a handful of companies, inequality could skyrocket to levels we've never seen. That puts an intense squeeze on millions of jobs, and frankly, it's a recipe for political chaos. And finally, there's the really tangible risk of just plain safety failures. What happens when an AI that's powerful but still makes weird mistakes is put in charge of our power grid or a hospital's patient system? A single glitch could cause a cascade of failures with catastrophic, real-world consequences.
So, we've got this incredible promise on one hand and this terrifying peril on the other. It feels a bit overwhelming, right? But this last part is all about agency. It's about the fact that we're not just passengers here. The future isn't set, and there are choices we can and must make right now.
And this might be the single most important idea to grasp. Collapse is not destiny. It's not some sci-fi movie plot that's bound to happen. If things go wrong, it will be the direct result of a failure to govern this technology, a failure to manage the risks, and a failure to steer.
And the good news is, we have the tools to do that steering. This isn't just a list of vague hopes, this is a practical playbook. It means creating tough safety standards, making sure a few companies don't control everything, seriously investing in new skills for workers, and building tools to fight back against misinformation.
So in the end, it really boils down to this single choice. On one side, you have an abundant future, but it's one we have to build through smart, proactive governance. And on the other, you have the collapse scenario, which isn't caused by evil robots, but by simple inaction. The path we end up on is decided by what we do or don't do right now.
After all of that, the missed calls, the massive promise, the scary peril, what's the one thing you really need to walk away with? It's this: AI is not just another app on your phone. It's not just another piece of tech. It is the central, compounding force of this entire decade. It is changing the fundamental speed limit on how fast we can learn things, build things, and connect with each other, for better or for worse.
And that leaves us with this final, urgent thought. The power here is absolutely immense, and the direction it takes us isn't predetermined. That choice is ours, and we are very, very much on the clock.